Just to summarize, ecosystems are a complex organization of living organisms that interact with the environment, modifying it in order to preserve themselves, and this modification is a regulation, but also has other co-benefits that are, for instance, cultural ecosystem services that, such as the opportunity to see a starry sky during the night. It is important to preserve this possibility. By preserving the natural capital, we can see and think of the dark sky as a form of natural capital, so a stock that has to be preserved. Otherwise, other ecosystem services, such as astrotourism, for instance, cannot be provided. There are many other effects of dark sky on ecosystem and the provision of ecosystem services. I go quickly through some of them, skip this part. So when we talk about dark sky, someone of you already mentioned about the certification of dark sky, because we talk about dark sky in terms of quality. The darker is the sky, the higher is the quality, and vice versa, because dark sky are the basis for the regulation of biological rhythms of living organisms, included ourselves. And also we have ecological effects of darkness on the ecosystems. When we talk about biological rhythms, we can think of the functioning of our system, for instance. So the production of hormones that regulates day and the sleeping time, and also the possibility to rest and behave properly during the day, but also they affect the natural cycle of many animals, like insects, migrating birds, and nocturnal animals, conditioning the possibility of reproduction, finding food, and also regulates the possibility of migrate, for instance, for birds. I already mentioned about control of the sleeping phase and during the night. So we know that if people and animal cannot sleep well, or being awake during the night, depending on their cycle, this affects the way they function, and also the way they operate within the ecosystems, also in order to provide some important function and services. For the animals, photoperiodicity, so the response to the length of the day and night, influence phenomena like I said, migration, reproduction, and foraging. Also, it is important to have this kind of alternation between day and night, not affected by impacts related to artificial light, because otherwise these species are affected and cannot and can how can I say, pay the price of these impact, and cannot perform as they should be. We can have effects on vegetation, on fauna, also on the food chain. We have effects on the humans, on the landscape, and with regard to this aspect, on tourism. For vegetation, the most immediate example is the effect on photosynthesis, and the fact that plants can be affected by the artificial lights, and may be and the photosynthesis process can be affected as well, and so the vegetation can go through a decrease in with regard to physiological aspects. Also, with fauna, we have already mentioned several examples. One of them is related to the possibility, for instance, for predators to find food during the night, or for the prey to escape from predators based on the luminosity of the environment. Another example is related to bats, which basically live during the night and are very important in regulating the population, for instance, of insects and so on. This results in an alteration of the food chain, and so on the equilibrium of the food web and the ecosystem as a whole. For human being, we have already biological impacts. We talk about sleep, but also we have impacts at the cultural level that are related to the alteration of the perception of defined places and area where people used to live. The landscape is strongly affected. Just an example, going by car during the night, we can see lights, the sky that is the light sky because of the urban illumination, and there's a strong alteration of what our perception of the night landscape of some areas. And that reduces possibility for tourism opportunities and also affects local economies, for instance, and the possibility of organizing activities with people in order to increase their knowledge about, for instance, the astronomy. Someone of you mentioned at the beginning, there are a system for certify the condition of dark sky quality, and so based on this certification, places becomes eligible for the organization of this kind of activities of astrotourism.